on the main Howrah-Mumbai railway line route. The institute is 5 kilometers from Raipur railway station and 14 kilometers from the airport on the Great Eastern Road. NIT Raipur now offers the BTech program in 12 disciplines, 11 postgraduate programs, and 18 PhD programs in the disciplines of science and technology. In 2020 to 2021 alone, NIT Raipur students received 599 placement offers from 92 companies with an average CTC of 9.7 lakhs per annum.
For the past 4 years, NIT Raipur has been headed by the visionary leader and Honorable Director Professor A.M. Ravani. Under the dynamic leadership of Professor A.M. Ravani, NIT Raipur has achieved many milestones and significantly improved in many areas, such as enhancement of faculty strength, augmentation of existing infrastructure, development of new facilities and services for students. Professor Ravani is the main guiding force behind the development of the ecosystem for research, innovation, and startups at NIT Raipur. Under the able guidance of Professor Ravani, NIT Raipur has been continuously improving its NIRF ranking over the past years. In 2018, NIT Raipur secured 81st rank, while in 2021, NIT Raipur secured 64th rank in the engineering category of NIRF. Over the past few decades, NIT Raipur has proven to be avant-garde in the field of science and technology.
मैथ्स का थोड़ा सा अटेंडेंस सभी ऑफलाइन जितने भी वो सब आप लोग अभी बोलो अपने पेरेंट्स को कॉल करवाएं अपसेट देना अगर सपोज किसी क्लास में स्टूडेंट नहीं रहता है तो
Good morning, Phatak sir. We are going to start in a couple of minutes, sir. Sorry for the delay, sir. Good morning. Very warm morning from our side, sir. Good morning, Diwan sir. We are going to start in a couple of minutes, sir.
Yes, please. Very good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Sir, you are audible.
Thank you. Yes, Shanky. Good morning to all of you. Shanky.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can start the
So
program.
may I start?
Yes.
Okay,
Please.
thank you. Success is where preparations and opportunity meet. Very good morning to everyone present here. I take this privilege to warmly welcome all our dignitaries on the inaugural session of the 4th International Conference on Machine Intelligence and Signal Processing. Prayer is aligning ourselves with the purposes of God, and the light of a lamp signifies knowledge. With due permission from all our dignitaries, we will now light the auspicious lamp of wisdom to mark the beginning of this mega event. Now we'll start with the Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीम् वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्।
To welcome is to show honor. To welcome is to establish integrity. I feel honored to welcome the eminent computer scientist and academics, Professor D.B. Phatak, Padma Shri recipient, Professor Emeritus, IIT Bombay, Chairman and Board of Governors, IIT Indore, as the Honorable Chief Guest of the occasion. Sir, your presence is an honor and blessings for all of us. I accord a genial welcome to the honorable guest of honor and honorary chair of the conference, Professor Sheng Leng Peng, Professor National Taipei University of Business, Taiwan. A very warm welcome. It's an honor, sir, to have you here. A very warm welcome to the honorable guest of honor and co-patron of the conference, Dr. Prabhat Diwan, Dean Research and Consultancy, NIT Raipur. Last but not the least, I welcome all the professors, faculty members, students, coordinators, and esteemed audiences who have gathered here from the diverse places across the globe. I welcome you all. A conference is a celebration of knowledge. An ideal orator and a devoted teacher, I invite the organizing chair of the conference, Dr. Dilip Singh Sisodia, HOD Computer Science and Engineering Department, NIT Raipur, to address the audience with the roadmap of the 3 days conference. So please.
Sir, you are not unmuted.
A very good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of the organizing committee of 4th International Conference on Machine Intelligence and Signal Processing and Department of Computer Science Engineering, I, Dr. Dilip Singh Sisodia, organizing chair, MISP 2022 and HOD Computer Science, take this proud privilege to extend my warm welcome to our distinguished dignitaries, invited guests, keynote speakers, session chairs, presenters, authors, organizing committee members, coordinators, and all present here participants from India and abroad. On behalf of the department and organizing committee of conference, it is indeed an honor to welcome the renowned computer educationist, visionary leader, recipient of Padma Shri, Professor Emeritus, IIT Bombay, and our chief guest of the occasion, Professor Deepak V. Phatak, who has graced inaugural session with his esteemed presence. Sir, your presence in this conference is an honor, inspiration, and blessing for all of us. With immense pleasure, I would like to welcome our guest of honor, honorary chair of MISP 2022, Professor Sheng Leng Peng, Professor National Taipei University of Business, Taiwan, for sparing his valuable time and join the event. Welcome, sir. I heartily welcome our co-patron and guest of honor, Professor Prabhat Diwan, Dean Research and Consultancy, National Institute of Technology, Raipur, for his gracious presence on this occasion. After the magnificent accomplishment of 3rd MISP 2021, which was organized by the NIT Arunachal Pradesh, the 4th MISP was planned to be organized in physical mode or at least in hybrid mode. But due to the COVID-19 crisis uncertainties. There was not sure that so it was decided. This means there was difficulty that how our distinguished guests will join the conference. So our authorities have taken the decision that this conference is permitted in online mode, virtual mode. So it is rightly said that knowledge is a garden. If it is not cultivated, it can be harvested. So from the interest of research community, the best way to grow professionally in this time of crisis is to move conference purely in virtual mode. So in MISP 2022, papers were invited in different tracks like machine learning, signal processing, data science, computational intelligence, computer vision and pattern recognition, network and IoT intelligence, machine intelligence, and signal processing application. I'm proud to mention that MISP 2022 has received tremendous response from the research community, and we have received 460 plus paper, and to be exact, 482 papers. So after preliminary screening, we have deleted 22 papers and 460 papers were sent for review. These 460 papers were submitted by the 1200 plus authors affiliated with 300 plus institutions spread across the 15 countries. All submitted papers were peer reviewed by more than 300 technical program committee members and reviewers, and these technical TPC and reviewers were affiliated with more than 150 plus institutions. Total more than 1200 plus review comments have been received for evaluation of these submitted papers, and after conducting this rigorous peer review process and careful editorial evaluation, finally we have accepted 152 papers, and these 152 papers were also registered for presentation at MISP 2022. So the acceptance rate of MISP 2022 is 33.2% or approximately 33%. All accepted and presented papers at MISP 2022 during these 3 days will be considered for possible publication by the prestigious Springer book series lecture notes in electrical engineering, which is Scopus, and many other reputed indexing database. The conference will be organized during these 3 days, and the presentations will be divided into 30 sessions. Each session will consist of 5 papers. In this way, on a particular day, we will organize the presentation of 50 papers. So approximately 152 papers were presented during these 3 days. The aim of this MISP 2022 was bring the research fraternity together in the those who are working in the field of machine intelligence and signal processing to share their latest research findings and investigations, and to discuss their innovative ideas, advances, and future direction in these evolving or emerging areas. We are very much looking forward to an excellent meeting, discussion with all young researchers from different countries around the world, and sharing new exciting results at the forum of MISP 2022. Once again, with immense pleasure and proud, I welcome you all during this 3 days international conference, Machine Intelligence and Signal Processing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I take this opportunity to speak a brief biography of our honorable chief guest, Professor D.B. Phatak. It is a well-known proverb that actions speak louder than words. With the personalities like Professor D.B. Phatak, the proverb seems to do the justice. Dr. Phatak obtained his bachelor's degree in EE Electrical Engineering from SGSITS Indore and his MTech and PhD from IIT Bombay. He served with IIT Bombay from 1971 till he retired in 2018. He headed the CSA department from 1991 to 1994. He was Dean of Resources from 1995 to 1998, was the founding head of Kamal Rekhi School of IT from 1998 to 2002, and headed the S.J. Mehta School of Management from 2004 to 2005. He held the Subrao M. Nilekani Chair Professorship from 2000 to 2013. Presently, he is a Professor Emeritus of IIT Bombay. He started an IT incubator at IIT Bombay in 1999 to foster innovation and startup culture. It has now evolved into SIGN, Society for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, considered as one of the best incubators in India. He started the country's first interactive distance learning program, initially using VSAT and later through internet. It has blossomed into the it has blossomed into the Center for Distance Learning Education. He has set up the Affordable Solutions Lab at IIT Bombay in 2000. He is regarded as the pioneer of smart card usage in financial transactions in India. He developed low cost devices. He developed he developed low-cost devices such as smart card readers, clickers, and thin clients. He successfully completed the Akash project for affordable tablets. He is an open source evangelist and strives to popularize free and open source software and the contents. In 1983-84, Professor Phatak helped setting up the Department of Computer Science in his alma mater SGSITS and later in Indore University. During a sabbatical leave in 2003, he visited over 50 smaller engineering colleges in the country and interacted with thousands of teachers and students. He played a leading role in mentoring this talent pool through initiatives like the Eklavya Project, trained 10,000 teachers at a time, MOOCs, massive open online courses, etc. His focus is on improving quality of education at scale to meet the national aspirations. He was elected Fellow of CSI in 1999 and Fellow of IETE in 2000. As an expert in databases and information systems, he has been a consultant and advisor to a number of organizations and ministries on issues related to IT. In the financial sector, he has been an IT advisor to SBI, RBI, UTI, IGBI, LIC, New India, UIIC, SEBI, NSGL, etc. He is a permanent invitee to the Payment System Board of RBI. He has chaired the IT committee of SEBI. He has served on the boards of several companies and institutions, including IGBI Bank, UTIISL, IDBIISL, Bank of Baroda, HDFC, AMC, Revit, NIA, IGNU, IIT Gandhinagar, and NIT Agartala. He currently serves on the boards of MTCL, IBPS, IIT Indore, SDSITS, PSL, and Baroda Sun Technologies. He has chaired technical committees on MCA 21, GST and GEM, and the review committee for assessment of security of the Aadhaar system. Professor Pachak is the recipient of Excellence in Teaching Award and the Industrial Impact Research Award from IIT Bombay. He was conferred with Lifetime Achievement Award by the Scotch Foundation in 2003, by DataQuest in 2008, by Devang Mehta Business School Awards in 2010, by Interop in 2014, by IIT Bombay in 2014, and by CSI in 2018. He was listed among the 50 most influential Indians by Business Week in 2009. The President of India honored him with the Padma Shri in 2013. Dr. Phatak believes that teaching cannot be just a profession. but has to be one's dharma. His dream is to see a resurgent India catching up with the world using IT as a springboard. We welcome you, sir, here. I feel honored that I have got this opportunity to read your biography. Sorry if I have made any mistakes in this. Now I request sir to please address the audience and so that we get honored here. So please.
Thank you very much. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you. In fact, it was a very long and unnecessary introduction. I like to be referred to simply as a teacher, like many of you are here. But anyway, thanks for those nice words and kind words. Respected Professor Sheng Lang Feng, our guest of honor and honorary chair of the conference, Professor Diwan, our Dean Research and Consultancy at NIT Raipur, Conference Organizing Chair, Professor Dilip Singh Sisodia, Conference Keynote Speakers, Professor Hui Wang, Professor Lalit Garg, my colleague and our very own from IIT Indore, Professor Ram Vilas Pachori, Dr. Yogesh Nene, Ms. Kamia Khattar, session chairs, members of the conference organizing team, other dignitaries, and participants of this important conference, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to share some of my thoughts at this important conference. Most of you would know that my own work and expertise has been in areas which are largely orthogonal to both machine learning as also signal processing. However, I did dabble in digital signal and image processing during 70s due to the insistence of my guru, late Professor H.B. Kekre, before shifting out completely to databases. Of course, I keep getting peripherally updated thanks to many of my colleagues in IIT Bombay who are star researchers in allied fields. I'm thankful to Professor Sisodia, whose insistence has given me this opportunity to briefly look at the recent amazing developments and their significance to the solution of larger technical problems that the world faces. Let me briefly give you a glimpse of how things were in the early days of signal and image processing in India, and perhaps slightly better in the rest of the world. And I'm talking about early 70s, so 50 years ago. I recall an interesting experiment done by some of us. It was then reported that through remote sensing satellite imagery, a complete tributary of the river Amazon was located, which was not known to exist on record till that time. We managed to get the data on a tape, thanks to my friend Professor Dikshatalu, and used the mainframe computer in IIT Bombay at that time. It had a line printer as the only output device. The only way to print a grayscale image was to use overprinting of a few pre-selected characters up to 4 times in each of the 120 by 60 printable cells of each page of the printer. A blank depicted white and a 4 times overprint of some dense symbols represented black. We extracted the data from the tape, wrote programs to do some rudimentary clustering and classification, and printed the image of the large area on 16 large sheets of the line printer. We juxtaposed these sheets properly, pasted them on a wall, and walked back some 50 feet. Indeed, we could see the tributary. You may laugh at this, but such was the situation of people who wanted to do some serious remote sensing work those days. I recall another effort at analyzing ECG signals on the same mainframe machine. The images of ECG plots were obtained from IIT Hospital. These had to be hand digitized. Values were then punched on cards and fed to our program, which attempted to fit these signals to some exponential functions to determine parameters which we use to characterize the state of heart. My student, and since then a close friend, Dr. Sunil Sherlekar got the best student paper award for that work. However, the general opinion of colleagues was that much before we could complete our analysis of ECG and speculatively determine what was wrong with the heart, the patient could be long dead. Let us fast forward to current times. Contrast the situation 5 decades ago with the technology available today. Instead of struggling to calculate DFT and FFT on large computers, modern gadgets do far more processing in the image capture device itself. An ordinary camera is able to perform image histogram equalization on the fly. Let me cite a few examples of what I see being done using these technology advances. Consider a simple pulse oximeter. I've got one for you. Most of you would have seen that. It's a commonly used device to assess oxygen levels. The oximeter utilizes a pair of small light-emitting diodes facing a photodiode through a translucent part of the patient's body, typically a fingertip or an earlobe. LEDs transmit red and infrared light pulses alternately, sometimes around 30 times a second. Absorption of light at these wavelengths differs significantly based on the oxygenated hemoglobin, which absorbs more infrared light and allows more red light to pass through. Since no conventional imaging is needed, only the absorption levels are captured. The embedded software analyzes this data using an inbuilt microprocessor to display results. Bluetooth connectivity and appropriate app permits medical notification to a doctor in case of an emergency. And please note that such a device represents not just hardcore research in multiple dimensions, but also subsequent implementation using fundamental basic principles of science, using technology, using engineering, using production techniques, and using financial management. All of these together give us these fantastic gadgets which are made available today. Consider advances in facial recognition. A tutorial article on what is face recognition by Adrian Rosebrook gave me a very comprehensive account of development and current status. An important advance has been the work done by Google researchers, Florian Schroff, Dmitry Kalanchikov, and James Philbin. The resultant development of programming algorithms using deep learning has been simply stunning. The open source initiative OpenCV, which I came across, has been helping researchers for many years now. I read some additional material such as available on GitHub, like OpenFace, to understand the direction of research and development work. It has been a very enriching experience. Most of you would be aware of these things, but for me, this was a godsend. More interesting is the discovery that myelination or white matter formation increases when we try to learn new skills. The use of diffusion tensor imaging is a technique which is now refined significantly. One can only sense the great opportunity now available to carry out reverse engineering of the brain, which is one of the 14 grand challenges defined by United States National Academy of Engineers. The stated aim of this exercise is simply to understand how the brain functions. Techniques such as DTI may help us save several decades. Indeed, the relevance of new and fast emerging technologies is increasingly seen in all fields of study. This century is indeed going to see far more multidisciplinary work than was done in the past. Talking about relevance, I was initially a bit surprised to find papers in the areas such as social information retrieval systems, text mining, and natural language processing. When I perused the abstracts, which Professor Sisodia kindly sent me last evening, I wondered, how are these topics relevant to machine learning for signal processing? An interesting 5-decade-old anecdote came to my mind, which I am tempted to share. Some of my young colleagues had christened it as the Bhagavat law and the Kekre corollary. Professor Bhagavat was head of the EE department in IIT, In one of the faculty meetings, while discussing introduction of some new electives, he commented in a lighter vein that whatever may be the name of the subject and whatever may be its syllabus, a teacher teaches what he or she knows. Professor Kekre was enraged and asked Professor Bhagwat as to how he can make such a statement. Professor Bhagwat nonchalantly looked at him and asked, Kekre, are you telling me that you teach what you don't know? It so happened some days later, I was preparing to teach a new course on analog computers when Kekre found out that I was reading just 2 books and a few papers. He scolded me and gave me a list of 6 books to read from. He asked me to solve at least 50 problems on my own. He asked me to read a list of 20 papers, some classical, but many recent at that time. When I told him that it was just an undergraduate class, he got angrier. To instill love for research thinking, every stage is a good stage to start, he said. Do not forget that you are teaching at IIT Bombay. That is when I coined the Kekre corollary to that Bhagavad law. It states that a conscientious teacher studies a lot, works very hard to learn a new subject, and thus ends up teaching only what he or she knows. The relevance of introducing research thinking early in a student's life was much better understood by me later when I saw smart undergraduate students of Professor Pandurangan at IIT Madras and of Professor Parthapatim Chakravarti at IIT Kharagpur producing excellent research papers. I must hasten to add that my doubt about relevance of some areas to the theme indicated by the name of this conference got corrected quickly. Professor Sisodia, in a late night call to inquire if I had received his mail, suggested that I should also look at the conference website. When I did that, I discovered that such specific conference tracks were declared in the invitation for papers itself. The track on data sciences and computational intelligence and the track on network and IoT intelligence are very much part of the plan. These only go to show the importance of multifaceted, multidisciplinary work to come up with comprehensive, useful solutions. Today, I wish to share with you my views on the need to maintain the highest standards of academic ethics and the critical importance of developing good communication skills. I believe these are important for researchers working in any area. I also believe that all of you are quite familiar with these, but I do feel that a reiteration of some common basic values and some common important skills may still be useful. Plagiarism is a plague that affects the research community across the globe. It essentially stems from the temptation to put our name on material which we ourselves have not created. To this human weakness, one may add the lack of adequate communication skills of Indian researchers, which perhaps tempts them to reproduce paragraphs and sections from some existing work verbatim. If this is done without even citing the original authors, it is a critical academic offense and must be avoided at all costs. Even when one cites the corresponding references, articulating work of others in your own language and context is essential. Sadly, our researchers often lack the necessary skills to do so. In IIT, we discovered many years ago that while our talented postgraduate students were very good in their knowledge and possessed top-class technical prowess, they lacked adequate skills in communication. We have since put in place a compulsory pass-fail course in communication skills for all our postgraduate students. I suggest that this aspect should be stressed in all our institutions. I'm very happy to see a keynote planned by Ms. Kamya Khattar on scientific writing for journal publications. This is very pertinent in my opinion. Researchers whose papers have been accepted for this conference may already be familiar with the major aspects. I urge them to motivate their colleague teachers and students in their institutions when they go back to invest time in mastering these skills. I am tempted to suggest that many do not know how to properly even read research papers so that they assimilate the gist and the important points made in a paper comprehensively. Our researchers may find it useful to view a talk given by my colleague, Professor Sahana Murthy, on how to read a research paper. It was delivered as a part of our faculty development program on research methodology. All the talks are available on YouTube and are in open source. I now come to the larger problem of the human temptation to claim somebody else's work as my own. I'll cite a very old example which I have personally seen. The occasion was a conference on digital signal processing held at Space Application Center in Ahmedabad. Kekre and I participated in that conference along with another illustrious colleague of ours, Professor Sudhakar Sahasrabudhe. After reaching Space Application Center, I read the conference brochure containing the schedule with a list of all papers to decide which of the parallel sessions I should attend. I was intrigued by finding 3 papers in rather distinct areas having one common author. The authors listed for individual papers went something like XABC, XPQ, XYZ. The researcher X puzzled me a bit. He was the first author in each of the 3 papers and thus must be a maestro, though I had never heard of him. I showed Professor Sudhakar Sahasrabudhe the list. He confirmed that he knew of X, but not as a great researcher. He did know a couple of other authors and said those people were really good, so find out from them. He was also curious as to how Mr. X was the first author in each of the 3 papers. While chatting with a few participants and couple of authors, I discovered that Mr. X was the director of a laboratory where other authors worked. It so happened that the lab had to give clearance to papers being sent for publication. Researchers there had discovered that if Mr. X is not one of the authors, the clearance got inordinately delayed. And if Mr. X was the first author, the organizational clearance came almost immediately. I felt sick to hear this. When I mentioned this to Sudhakar, I could see scorn and contempt on his face. People higher up in authority, he said, have to be far more careful about academic ethics. And mind you, I'm not only talking about directors and senior professors. If I'm a young teacher and if I'm a guide to students, then I must respect the work done by students and must take the second seat if that work and contribution is more. I must not permit my name to be associated with any work in which I have not actively participated. Sudhakar told me that he will not keep quiet. I do not know what he did, but Mr. X suddenly stopped appearing, at least as the first author in subsequent conferences. Sudhakar himself always assiduously followed the highest standards of academic ethical practices, as do most colleagues I have known and worked with. I am sure all of you are aware of this, but my dear friends, I think it is very important to emphatically state and reset this to ourselves and to all our colleagues and friends so that we emerge out as the top standing academicians in the world in terms of following good ethical practices. The research work is of course important, but this is equally important. Coming back to the conference theme, I'm sure that all researchers participating in this conference are far better aware of the important initiatives in their domain of activity, as also in allied and other domains. I wish to make 2 points with reference to all these developments. First is about the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning in our endeavors. The term AI has become commonplace in recent years, but the field as such is quite old. I recall having studied supervised and unsupervised classification from a book written by Duda and Hart on pattern classification decades ago. The technology advances since then have resulted in enormous computing power being available to the mankind, together with vast amount of affordable digital storage. Major advances in machine learning algorithms have been made since then, thanks to the very large amount of digital data that is now collected and is available for training these algorithms. These continuing developments have enabled application of AI ML technique in practically every walk of life. AI thus has a potential to positively impact human development in every sphere. It can disrupt the normal way in which most human beings live. Unfortunately, it also has a potential to cause tremendous harm by adversely impacting the individual privacy. In a different context, an important article in Nature reminds us that the negative impact which unchecked use of AI ML can have on the sustainable development goals defined by UNDP. The second point I wish to make is the need to increase the awareness of the work in your field amongst common people. The vast majority of them, including many well-educated persons, are unaware of the work and its growing impact. Several leaders of activities and organizations in various domains, such as business, industry, finance, sociology, and even education, are not familiar with the advances being made in image processing, signal processing, and their relevance to solving many real-life problems, including, of course, the possible negative impact factor of AI. In this context, I have a sincere request to make to all of you. Towards the end of your conference, when you have concluded presentations of your excellent research papers and have benefited from the discussions and arguments to work out more knowledgeably on the important research themes you are pursuing, please find a short time session. The only agenda for this session should be, in my humble suggestion, to work out a meaningful content on the theme of this conference, meant primarily for that large segment of humanity which is not at all connected with this field. The objective should be to increase awareness among general public of this field and the impact of fast-spreading use of AI ML techniques. Such content needs to be written in simple terms such that a common man can understand the gist. There is much more for me to learn, but I stop here before I reveal more of my ignorance. I wish you all a very meaningful exchange of important ideas and great contributions in coming years. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Everyone present here was not only in the awe of your knowledge, but also greatly impressed by your presenting style. On the behalf of everyone, we feel lucky to have you here, sir. I hope today many of us will be able to seek a little guidance from your thoughts, and I really thank you very much, sir, once again. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite our honorable guest of honor and honorary chair of the conference, Professor Sheng Leng Peng, to address us with his kind words. Before that, I would like to present a brief profile of the professor. Dr. Sheng Leng Peng is a professor and the director head of the Department of Creative Technologies and Product Design, National Taipei University of Business, Taiwan. He received the PhD degree in computer science from the National Tsinghua University, Taiwan. Currently, he is Professor, National Taipei University of Business, Taiwan, Honorary Professor, Beijing Information Science and Technology University, China, Visiting Professor, Ningxia Institute of Science and Technology, China, and Adjunct Professor, Mysore University, India. His research area includes designing and analyzing algorithms for bioinformatics, combinatorics, data mining, and networks. Dr. Peng served as conference chair, co-chair, session chair, and keynote speaker of several international conferences held around the globe. Now I request Sir to please address the audience. Sir, please.
Okay, good morning. It's okay. Can you
Yes.
listen to me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the fourth International Conference on Machine Intelligence and Signal Processing, or Misp 2022. Okay. As we all know, in this era of technology, machine intelligence and the signal processing have been two very important research fields. Yeah. It is good to know that this conference has received nearly 500 papers and accepted 152 papers. Okay. As an honorary chair, I'm proud of the organizer, the National Institute of Technology, REPU. I believe that the effort we paid is heralding us the good news of the future and making Misp a traditional event. I'm grateful to all the contributors who will make the conference a successful one. I must also thank the sponsors or the members of the technical and the administrative committees. Without them, this is impossible. Yeah. I do not know how to say great, remarkable words, but I would like to cite one well-known saying. That is, peace at home, peace in the world. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, again, I extend you sincerely welcome to the conference. I wish you a worthwhile and a fruitful conference. Thank you very much and enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your presence and wise words. Thank you so much. Now, I welcome and request our esteemed guest of honor and co-patron of the conference, Dr. Prabhat Diwan, Dean Research and Consultancy, NIT Raipur, to address the audience. Before that, I would like, before inviting sir to the podium, I would like to give a brief bio of sir. Dr. Prabhat Diwan is Dean RNC in NIT Raipur. He is University Gold Medalist in MTech Applied Geology Department from Sagar University. He has served as Junior Research Fellow and Senior Research Fellow in DST-sponsored Research Project Department of Applied Geology, Sagar University during the tenure 1990 to 1995. He was head of Department of Applied Geology, National Institute of Technology, Raipur from August 2008 to August 2021. Also, he has graced many senior level administrative positions, including Dean Student Welfare, Dean Research and Consultancy. He is principal investigator for AICTE TAPTEC research project on sustainable development of mineral and groundwater resources in Chhattisgarh, geological assessment of problem dimensions using remote sensing and satellite image processing. He has supervised 5 PhDs and is currently supervising one more PhD candidate for his doctoral program. He has supervised around 24 MTech candidates. Now I request sir to deliver his opening and welcome remarks to the audience. So please.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning, warm good morning to all of you. Respected Padma Shri Dr. Phatak, Professor Shenglung Peng, Conference Chair Dr. Dilip Sisodia, Organizing Secretaries, participants. It is my proud privilege to be sharing this platform amongst the illustrious dignitaries as Professor Phatak and Professor Shunglang. I'm so delighted and feel so honored to be a part of this MISP 2022. I have been very keenly listening to Padma Shri Professor Phatak, and I agree with each and every word that he has spoken on the subject, artificial intelligence, machine learning, remote sensing, image processing. I was particularly happy to learn that he spoke on this inaugural address on the work ethics, plagiarism, and communication skills. I perfectly agree with each and every word that he has spoken. I'm so happy, sir, that you have addressed your spoken words, and it would go a long way to the conference secretaries, and also to the participants. Dr. Dilip Sisodia has done a wonderful job, I believe, and in having his second conference in this particular year. And also he conducted very well the STTP as well. So the computer science department of NIT Raipur is very, very vibrant, and naturally so, as one of the most sought after branch by the students, undergraduate, postgraduate, as well as research students. So very, very hearty congratulations to all the organizing secretaries, Dr. Dilip, the faculties, the students, research scholars, for working so hard over the coming months and coming up with such a wonderful, highly responsive conference. I was amazed to see the response to this conference, and so very happy that the proceedings, the peer-reviewed papers would be coming no less than stringent as such. So congratulations to all of you. And I would request all the participants to take advantage of all the 3 days, not just presenting the paper, your own paper, but keep sitting throughout the sessions. A good conversationalist is one who is a good listener. So you have to listen. You have to listen and listen well. And it is during these proceedings where you are very carefree after having presented probably the points, the ideas that you would be grasping, that goes a long way in your career. So I'm very, very delighted that such a beautiful conference has been organized by the computer science department. Just 2 things that I would like to share in this particular platform as far as the developments at NIT Raipur is concerned as an administrator. This year in 2021-22 academic year, I'm very delighted to share that practically all the core engineering branches have had 2 events being organized by each of them. Not just the computer science, Department of Electrical Engineering has just completed the IEEE conference on their subject. We had conferences organized, national and international conference organized by the core engineering departments like mechanical engineering, civil engineering. Department of Information Technology has had a huge success in 2 of their very, very well authenticated themes in this particular year. So around 30 to 35 events of national and international level was conducted, though it was a very, very difficult time in COVID that we are following such restrictions. Yet we took this opportunity to give clearances and invite proposals. And I'm very happy to share that we are almost coming to the end of this financial year, where just about 2 or 3 more are still left to be conducted. So very much delighted to see that all these 35 events, as Professor Phatak would appreciate, all these 35 events, the proposal has come from very, very newly and young faculties who have used their network, all over the world. We have had keynote speakers from Australia, from Southeast Asia, from China, from Europe, from Middle East, from Canada, from South America, and from United States. And our students, our research scholars and postgraduate and undergraduate students have really had an opportunity in this very COVID times that this management of NIT Raipur has given them. So I wish to congratulate all of you, I mean, all the faculties of this institute for working so very hard under tremendously, you can say, hard COVID situations. Another thing that I would like to share is that I was so happy to see undergraduate students getting the best paper awards in these conferences, adjudged by the jury. Be it event organized by Department of IT or Electrical Engineering. There were a couple of BTech students of NIT Raipur who had scored the 2nd highest or the 3rd highest best paper amongst all the participants. So it is a very, very good trend, I would believe, considering the motives of the national education policy, where we are supposed to percolate the R&D down to the undergraduate levels. So NIT Raipur is conscientiously working towards it. Another point that I would like to share, and particularly the last part of Professor Phatak, what he said, that we are having a research scholar conclave exclusively for researchers of NIT Raipur sometime in June. It's almost on the clearance table of the director. And lo and behold, as Professor Phatak said, Professor Ravani has asked me to dedicate the first session of this conclave for the research scholars, stressing on how to write a research paper, how to read a research paper. So this has been the greatest part that I was surprised to see is, and now as Professor Phatak told, I realized that what Professor Ravani, our director, has said is of tremendous value. So we have already planned for this common session for our research scholars, be it fundamental science from physics, chemistry, mathematics, or from core engineering or high-end engineering like electronics and computer science. These research scholars will be compulsorily asked to attend as to how to read a research paper, how to conclude a research paper, and then how to write and also to speak on a proper platform. So with all these words, I congratulate again, and thanks for inviting me. And it's my proud privilege to share this August platform with such luminaries as Professor Sheng and Professor Phatak. And I wish the conference a great success, and congratulations to all the organizing secretaries, students, and research scholars of computer science of NIT Raipur. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. It always motivates and inspires us. Thank you so much. Moving forward now, it is an honorable moment for all of us to release the souvenir and book of abstracts of MISP 2022. For this, may I request our honorable chief guest, Professor D.V. Phatak, sir, to kindly do the honor. Sir, please.
Sir, actually, if yeah, someone will click some pages of this souvenir, please. Yes, please, some abstracts. Sir, please unmute yourself. Sir, you want to say something? Please unmute.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that I'm very impressed with such a timely publication release, because these things usually take quite some time to be put in a proper format, which you have done, and still to do it on the very first day of the conference. Very remarkable. My compliments and congratulations to entire team.
Thank you, sir.
This souvenir come book of abstract is available with the virtual platform on conference website. So any participant, session chair, or any other guest, they can refer. This book is available in this form. Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Now, I request Honorable Organizing Secretary of the conference, Dr. Pradeep Singh, to deliver vote of thanks for this inaugural session. So please. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Department of CSE and NIT Raipur on the occasion of inaugural of 4th International Conference on Machine Intelligence and Signal Processing, MISP 2022. First and foremost, I would like to convey deep regards and sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor Phatak, recipient of Padma Shri, Professor Emeritus, IIT Bombay, Chairman, BOG, IIT Indore, for kindly accepting our invitation and gracing this inaugural ceremony with his august presence. I sincerely thank our guest of honor, honorary chair of the conference, Professor Sung Lung Peng, National Taipei University of Business, Taiwan, for his gracious presence and word of encouragement. I would like to express my gratitude towards Professor A.M. Ravani, Director NIT Raipur, for his inspiring mentorship, and due to his sole guidance and incredible leadership, it has become a perfect platform for deliberation of research ideas in MISP 2022. I sincerely thank to our guest of honor, Professor Prabhat Diwan, Dean Research and Consultancy, NIT Raipur, for sparing their valuable time to grace this occasion. Our special thanks to Professor Shri Swarma, Dean Academics at NIT Raipur, for his continuous guidance and support. I sincerely thank the member of advisory committee for their valuable suggestions. We are fortunate to have some of the eminent persons from academia working in the area of machine learning and signal processing in this conference. I convey deep regards and sincere thanks to all our distinguished keynote speakers, Professor Hugh Wang, Queen's University, Belfast, UK, Professor Ramvilas Pachori, Indian Institute of Technology, Indore, India, Professor Yogesh Nene, Regional Medical Officer, Ms. Khamia Khattar, Editor, Applied Science and Engineering, Springer Nature, India, for accepting our invitation. I am sure that participants will be benefited from their keynote address. I take this opportunity to thank all the technical program committee members, reviewers, for providing their valuable comments in time and help towards the improvement of quality of papers selected for the conference, as we have received more than 460 papers and we need more number of we have more than 1,000 reviewers for reviewing all these papers. So words are not enough to thank their constant support to save the conference. I am thankful to all the participants, all the distinguished participants from academia, industry, government organization across the globe for their scientific contributions in this conference. I would like to thank Registrar NIT Raipur and all administrative staffs of NIT Raipur for their constant support to conduct this conference. I would like to offer my thanks to media persons for giving wide coverage to this conference. I would like to thank organizing chair, organizing secretaries of the conference, faculty members of CSE department for their untiring efforts to make this program successful. Finally, I would like to thank all the research scholars, students who are working day and night and involved to make this conference successful for their tireless efforts. Without their cooperation and full support, this conference would not have been a reality. I hope these 3 days of MISP 2022 conference will provide a momentum to research and innovation amongst participants. My sincere thanks to one and all who have joined this inauguration function and support us for successfully organizing this event. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir. With the permission from the organizing chair, sir, shall we continue with the keynote session here only?
Yes, I have to check whether Professor Lalit joined or not. Excuse me, Shanky.
Yes, sir.
Can we request for group photo?
Yes, sir.
Could you ask all dignitaries before they leave the meeting for group photo, all participants who are attending the meeting, so one as a memory.
Yes, sir.
All participants, committee members who are attending this inaugural session are requested to on your camera so we can have a group photo as a memory of this inaugural session. And one more thing, it was my a long time wish to be Professor Phatak at NIT Raipur, and partially it is fulfilled because I was looking in last 2-3 years, even after 2018, but there we were not able to organize an event which suit to your stature. So this we got this opportunity. So I do not. That's why I insisted. I know, sir, you must very busy and so many appointments, so many things are there. That's why I did an unpleasant request, and I'm so I cannot express in words. I'm so thankful that you have given your valuable time. But I would like to request, if I get opportunity, you have to be in campus, sir, interact with our students. Your words are so encouraging and so motivating for, especially for our generation, what we are doing, our scholars are doing. And sir, initially reluctant that I'm not working in this field, but means your words are so useful, sir. So I would like to request and hope if we will be able to have you in physical, and our students will also get benefit. Same thing for Professor Shenglang Peng. Thank you so much, sir. So yeah, if yeah, I know you must be very busy with your university assignment, but you have spent your valuable time and joined this inaugural function for at least you spare more than 1 hour. So I'm so much thankful, sir. So I request all the participants. Yeah, Deepak, can we have all in on screen? Is there any setting is required?
Sir, you can go to gallery view. It's on view. Just click on view.
Okay.
And go to gallery view.
Gallery view. Okay. Please take snapshot. Yeah, how many? I think we can accommodate 49 or more than 49 at a time. There is a setting in video. Can you check, Deepak?
Sir, for me, there are approximately 20 participants whom I can see.
No, there is a setting that more maximum 49 can be accommodated on a screen. Okay, no problem. We can take it into 4. Who's taking this name? There is an option. You can slide this. So there are 4 screens. So you can take all these 4 snapshots. Please take.
So there are some joiners whose camera is not.
No issue. It's not compulsory that all can on, but maximum if they can. So it will be a memory for us. Please. And once you complete, please indicate.
Yes, sir.
Done? Ricky?
Sir, just a minute.
Okay, please confirm when.
Yes, sir. It is done, I think. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody. I'll take your leave, sir. I need to go to another meeting now.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So on the same link, keynote very soon, keynote session will start, and the first keynote session will be conducted by Professor Lalit Gar from University of Malta, and hopefully sir may have joined the meeting. I will check. Please allow me. I will check and confirm. So Professor Shukla, hello. Shukla sir.